Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening. Thanks for choosing Big Fox News. I'm Nick Smith. Amtrak is looking to extend rail services to underserved areas of the country. Could the Southern Tier be one of them? Matt Kleindes joins us from Corning with tonight's top story and a look at how Amtrak's plan to extend services could impact the local economy.
Good evening, Nick. In conjunction with the Biden administration's infrastructure plan, Amtrak is looking to build new lines to give local communities more access to rail transport.
The first step is directly on the table now with the new Amtrak proposal.
After President Biden laid out his infrastructure proposal, Amtrak released a map detailing new and expanded rail lines. One of the new lines would connect New York to Scranton, but Larry Mulsky says there have been talks about extending it further north.
The city of Binghamton, Broome County, and the Southern Tier communities have been interested, and we've met with them over the years about the potential for extending any service to Scranton.
Passenger rail services haven't been available to the Southern Tier since the 1970s. Bringing it back has the potential to boost the local economy.
Reliable, all-weather rail transportation is one of the benefits that these type of industries look for when they're looking to locate and basically bring new jobs to a region.
Colleen Fabrizi believes an expanded rail network could attract more tourism dollars to cities like Corning.
That interest, that desire to come to Corning and explore, it's only going to get larger and larger if we continue to add ways for people to get here.
Fabrizi says that local residents would also benefit having another option to travel around the area.
Not everyone wants to rent a car and drive it. Not everyone is comfortable flying, but there are a lot of people that prefer to ride a train.
Plans remain up in the air while Congress negotiates the infrastructure package. Matt Kleindes, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
New York State is stepping up its vaccination efforts once again. Governor Andrew Cuomo announcing the state will now be allocating vaccines to colleges and universities. The goal is for schools to administer the vaccines to students before the school year ends. Cuomo says vaccinating young people is critical in the fight against the virus due to the rising number of infections among those 18 to 24 years old.
Young people are a focus for us now. The infection rate among young people is going up. It was about 9%. It's up to about 14% now.
Last week, the state opened its vaccine eligibility to all New Yorkers 16 and older. Health officials are now urging the public to take advantage of the expanded eligibility and not delay their vaccinations. As new cases of COVID-19 surge in Michigan, state leaders are begging for a surge in vaccines. But as Britt Conway reports, the White House is staying the course and sticking to its vaccine distribution plan.
In Michigan, state leaders and health experts are all making the same plea as they watch more and more people test positive for COVID-19.
Think about surging vaccines into the state of Michigan.
I think getting vaccine shots in arms is our ultimate defense.
Make the case for surging vaccines.
We are asking for more help, for more vaccines.
Some national health experts are rallying behind them.
We've got to be able to do this when there are surges.
We need to get in the habit of trying to surge resources into those hotspots.
And Michigan is a hotspot. COVID-19 positivity rates haven't been this high here since the start of the pandemic, and hospitalizations are nearing peak levels. Governor Gretchen Whitmer is urging high schools to go remote, youth sports to pause, and people to skip indoor dining for at least the next 2 weeks. And a White House official tells CNN President Joe Biden told Whitmer the administration will send an additional 160 government personnel to help out with vaccinations, but no promise of more vaccines.
We have to make sure we're doing this in an equitable way, in a fair way, and the way that we have been doing this is by adult population. We have to continue to push forward, making sure that we're getting as many people as possible vaccinated.
But Whitmer says she'll continue pushing too.
And I'm going to continue to fight for the people of Michigan.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
At colleges across the country, administrators are trying to decide how far they should go in urging students to get COVID-19 vaccines. They're weighing whether to make vaccinations a requirement in the fall. Some universities, including Rutgers, Brown, Cornell, and Northeastern, have already said students will have to get vaccinated before returning to campus. School officials say they want to protect students' health, but some schools say they cannot legally require the vaccines because they do not have full federal approval. Experts say it's a gray area legally.
I think everyone should always have a choice, but I think to keep in mind that we protect each other, I think it would be in everyone's best interest to get the vaccine.
At New York University, administrators say they're re-examining the possibility of mandating shots. Right now, the school is making a big push to vaccinate as many students as possible before summer break begins. Experts are getting a better idea of just how severe COVID-19 is affecting mental health, as politicians on Capitol Hill are advocating for billions of dollars to help those in crisis get assistance. Sal Giangrasso has more on the new medical data highlighting the issues and how part of President Biden's COVID relief bill is expected to help.
Anxiety and depression are rampant.
COVID-19 is not only impacting people's physical health, the virus is also posing major consequences for people's mental well-being. But a portion of President Biden's $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan could provide assistance if, according to government officials, the funds are immediately released.
There's $5 billion in the ARP bill, in the COVID-19 bill, to help deal with the increase in mental health, anxiety, depression, and other mental conditions that people have gained because of COVID.
The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration will be tasked with dealing out the $5 billion in the form of grants, helping struggling Americans get access to mental health resources while giving healthcare providers more tools to assist.
This can't wait. It will get worse, and it will take our society a lot longer to get back to normal.
But as more states reopen their economies, rising COVID cases in some states have many folks fearing another potential shutdown, saying losing the ability to go out and socialize will have tremendous negative impacts on their quality of life.
It's not just affecting sickness, it's affecting the mental health of people. And being able to go outside is very important just to actually enjoy life again.
This increase in mental health awareness comes as a new study finds 1 in 3 COVID-19 survivors have faced either neurological or mental health problems. This includes anxiety and various mood disorders months after being diagnosed. Sal Giangrasso, Fox News.
A heartbreaking story is unfolding in Syracuse, New York, where a baby girl was shot and killed and 2 other young girls were injured. Authorities say the baby was shot multiple times Sunday night in a Syracuse neighborhood just blocks away from an elementary school. The other children, 2 sisters under the age of 10, have non-life-threatening injuries. It's unclear if any adults were around. Syracuse Mayor Ben Walsh addressing the public today about the tragedy, calling it incomprehensible.
This tragedy is the definition of senseless. How could anyone in their right mind point a gun at a car with children in it in broad daylight and pull the trigger? It is incomprehensible. The trauma inflicted on these children, their family, the first responders, and the community will be with us forever.
Syracuse police say there have been no arrests made. Protests erupting overnight in the Minneapolis suburb of Brooklyn Center following a police-involved shooting of an unarmed black man. This comes amid already high tensions in the area as witness testimony continues in the Derek Chauvin murder trial in connection with the death of George Floyd. Nadia Romero is in Minneapolis with details.
Protests erupting in a Minneapolis suburb overnight.
We saw rocks and other objects thrown at the police department. There were reports of shots fired in the area of the police department.
After 20-year-old Dante Wright was killed following a traffic stop, officers say they tried to arrest him on outstanding warrants when he got back into his car and fled. Brooklyn Center police opened fire and struck Wright, who died on the scene.
He said they pulled him over because he had air fresheners hanging from the rearview mirror. A minute later, I called and his girlfriend answered, which was the passenger in the car, and said that he'd been shot.
This as witness testimony in the Derek Chauvin murder trial continues for a 3rd week.
This is a case that evokes a lot of emotion.
As the prosecution calls another medical expert to testify on the cause of George Floyd's death.
I'm here as an expert cardiology specialist to provide my opinion as to how Mr. George Floyd died.
The defense says Floyd's death is the result of heart disease and drug use, but medical experts called so far disagree.
George Floyd died from a cardiopulmonary arrest. It was caused by low oxygen levels, and those low oxygen levels were induced by the prone restraint and positional asphyxiation that he was subjected to.
In Minneapolis, I'm Nadia Romero.
Some big attractions are coming back to the Hattiesburg Zoo. Zoo workers say reservations can now be placed for things like birthday bashes and camp stays. Many of these events were shut down because of the coronavirus pandemic, but workers tell us they're excited about what's been happening so far this year.
Our curriculum is designed as experiential learning, hands-on learning, where they also do have guest speakers. They'll have people, faculty in the industry.
What we want to do is offer an experience to students where they also will feel like this is their place and this is where they can discover what their future career is all about.
For more information on zoo events, just head to our website, myfox23.com.
Still ahead tonight, each year nearly 800,000 Americans suffer a stroke, which is the leading cause of long-term disabilities in the United States. But new research is offering hope.
Right now, the current standard of treatment for a stroke is basically trying to get rid of a clot that's basically blocking blood supply to the brain.
How researchers are working to make sure strokes are less damaging if there's a delay in critical care.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. Good evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Kim Walker with your weather update. It has been rainy and gloomy, and it was actually a little bit warmer this morning than the afternoon. Those temperatures really took a tumble this afternoon. 13 degrees cooler than it was yesterday in Elmira, Corning around 12 degrees cooler in Bath, and also in Watkins Glen. But tomorrow promises to bring a little bit more sunshine. There still could be a few isolated showers across the region, but overall, I think we are going to see some peaks of sunshine, and temperatures will be about 5 to 10 degrees above normal. So again, we're going to see some sunshine during the day on Tuesday. We start off around 47 degrees, which was our temperature, or close to our temperatures this afternoon, but we do warm up to around 58 by noon, and then it looks like those temperatures will warm up to the lower 60s by the early afternoon hours. And so again, it's going to be a little bit warmer than it was today, and that's some good news if you like the warmer air. However, it's going to be very short-lived because we have several systems that will come through, and they are going to bring some rain chances. So let's take a look at our future radar. For tonight, there could be just a few isolated showers across our area, drying out by 7 o'clock in the morning. And then as we make our way through the rest of Tuesday, it looks like just dry conditions, but then around 7 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, we have another disturbance that will come through, and it is going to spread rain across much of the Twin Tiers. So from Hornell to Bath to Corning, Elmira, Sayre, we're going to see a few showers by early afternoon, and this will continue through the evening hours and then move on out. But we have another system coming in, bringing a little bit more widespread rain on Thursday. In fact, there are some indications that there could be some wintry mix as we head into Thursday night into early Friday, as those temperatures drop down into the 30s. And our future radar is showing maybe just a little bit of snow activity off to our west, and that could spread through our area as we head through your Thursday. I don't think we're going to see a lot of snow. However, there's still that possibility of a few flakes that will fall across our area, but we're going to watch this very closely because it looks like there could be some winter weather that will return by the end of the week. So again, we do have the possibility of some mid-week rain, but then move moving into your Thursday. There could be a wintry mix as we start off the day, just because the colder air will start to sink southward into our area. Temperatures tonight in the 40s. As we head into tomorrow, look for highs around 64 degrees in Corning and 63 degrees in Elmira. We do warm up to around 52 degrees on Thursday, so any precipitation that we have out there will be switching over to rain. Colder on Friday with a high of 49.
Every year, nearly 800,000 Americans suffer a stroke. And stroke is the leading cause of long-term disability in the U.S. But new research is offering some hope. Mandy Gaither has more in today's Health Minute.
1 in 3 stroke victims never call 911, according to the CDC, delaying critical care.
By the time that they get treated, potentially there's been already significant damage to the brain tissue because of the lack of blood supply.
That damage can cause a number of problems, including paralysis, speech impairment, and loss of motor function.
Right now, the current standard of treatment for a stroke is basically trying to get rid of a clot that's basically blocking blood supply to the brain.
In a study published in the journal Science Advances, researchers at Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center have developed a technology to introduce genetic material into cells. They say this might make a delay in care less damaging, as it allows them to reprogram skin cells.
With our cocktail, we can sort of tell or teach those cells to become blood vessel cells.
Once injected into mice that had suffered a stroke, lead researcher Daniel Gallego Perez says they saw signs of brain tissue repair.
When we looked at the behavior of these mice as well, they regain motor function significantly. I think the implications for humans, treating humans with this are big.
More research will need to be done into how this treatment works in mice before the study is scaled up to include larger animals, testing for safety and efficacy. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
A Nebraska couple in their 70s has been together for more than 4 decades. But amid COVID struggles, they jumped at the chance to embark on a new chapter of their love story. Catherine Garcia has that story.
Marta and Julio Chumel first met in Mexico. Even after 44 years together, these partners are still madly in love.
My heart, my life, everything, my love.
Julio has battled COVID-19 for weeks. In Spanish, Marta shares how Julio caught the virus about a month ago. He's at CHI St. Francis, and she's never left his side.
I feel okay, more happy, because he is with me, and I know he's being well taken care of. He's taking his medicine and everything, so I'm okay. I'm happy.
One of Julio's nurses says because they weren't married, signing off on medical forms was tricky. But Julio had an idea.
He was like, why can't we just get married? Would that just make things easier?
A few nurses subbed in as volunteer wedding planners and arranged a small ceremony in Julio's room, where he dressed to impress, and Marta wore white. Cafeteria staff even baked 2 small cakes for the newlyweds.
It was probably one of the best days of their lives.
Hanneke Borg was there as a bridesmaid, witness, and impromptu ring bearer.
I wore silicone, like 2 silicone wedding bands, and he looked at his hands and he didn't have any.
She gave Marta a white band and Julio the gray. The couple's worn them since their special day.
Having something like this just changed like the whole entire atmosphere of the ICU and even the hospital.
And even though it wasn't the moment they dreamed of in a church, Marta says being together in that moment was all that mattered.
Because the day we got married, he said, Marta, tell me, do you want to get married to me? And I said, of course I will. I will marry you.
An Oklahoma elementary school is celebrating some of the country's newest citizens. The school's beloved lunch lady and her family took the oath of U.S. citizenship. Patrina Adger has that story.
It's lunchtime at Prairie Vale Elementary. Cafeteria manager Yanette Villamontes Lopez and her team preparing chicken nuggets for these little ones. An immigrant from Cuba, Yanette moving from Houston a few years ago with her family for better job opportunities.
When I was a child, I had a dream, like say Martin Luther King, right? My dream was come here to this great country.
One dream fulfilled Monday. Yanette passing her test to become a U.S. citizen. The children lining the hallways to celebrate her big accomplishment.
All the students give me hug. USA was exciting. I was crying like a baby, and the teacher were crying.
Yanette, not the only one passing the test, but her whole family, including her husband and 3 children, ages 17 to 28.
I know everything about United States, Constitution, President, everything. It's amazing. I know. I learn a lot of history because I love this country.
She is just a joy to have on my staff.
Principal Michelle Anderson says watching these kids cheer for the woman who cares so much about them brought tears to her eyes.
I was crying, she was crying, all the teachers were crying, and we were just so proud of her. And I think it means more to us than anyone because she's part of our family.
Yanette encouraging everyone to go after their dream, no matter how hard it may be. At Prairie Vale Elementary in Edmond, Patrina Adger.
Two chefs are hoping their new cookbook will help those who have lost their taste and smell due to the coronavirus. The book is called Taste and Flavor. The British cooks Ryan Riley and Kimberly Duke say they engineered their recipes to aid those with a missing or distorted sense of smell. Smell is a big factor when it comes to how things taste. With their recipes, they aim to stimulate a nerve which triggers sensations when eating. Some of those foods include mint, wasabi, and cinnamon. In the recipes, they avoid foods like garlic, onions, and even chocolate because to those missing a normal sense of smell, those foods can taste awful. You can get a free digital copy from Life Kitchen. Nomadland increases its chances at securing Oscar Gold, and Indiana Jones gets a new co-star. Rick Damigella has more in the Hollywood Minute.
You are one of those lucky people that can travel anywhere.
Yes, ma'am, I know.
And they sometimes call you nomads.
It's another win for Nomadland. The Frances McDormand-led drama was the night's big honoree at the Directors Guild of America Awards, claiming the prize for Outstanding Achievement in Theatrical Feature Film. Helmer Chloe Zhao became the first woman of color to receive the honor.
Give me the whip!
Adios, senor. Indiana Jones is getting a new co-star. Disney announced that Fleabag breakout Phoebe Waller-Bridge will join Harrison Ford in the upcoming 5th installment of the hit franchise. No word yet on who she will be playing, but fans will find out when the film hits theaters in July 2022.
I'm just trying to figure out why stripping.
Women, money, and a good time. Magic Mike gets real. Streaming platform HBO Max has ordered an unscripted competition series based on the hit stripping comedy. The series will transform 10 men who have lost their magic and teach them how to remove their clothes on stage with the same confidence as Channing Tatum. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. Christ the Redeemer, one of the most famous statues in the world, is about to get some competition. Brazil is building an even taller statue of Christ in the city of Encantado in the Brazilian state of Rio Grande do Sul. The new statue, named Christ the Protector, will be 140 feet high with its pedestal. That is 6 feet higher than Christ the Redeemer. Its width from hand to hand will be 118 feet. Christ the Protector construction is underway, and it is planned to be inaugurated this September, according to the association that coordinates the work. The project is being fully funded with donations by the city's residents and businesses. From our whole team, thanks for joining us. We hope you have a great night.